All right, I'm back again, and yeah, let's see where this thing is at. Um, so I did a ton of stuff, deleted a bunch of things, start reviewing it here one by one. We can start cleaning things up. I thought it was funny, deleted yes. That's fine. I'll probably like switch to VTest or something. Um, if I do at unit tests here, which I probably will, of course, but let me go top to bottom. Yeah, so Docker ignore to just ignore stuff that we don't really need for the image. So we won't have this bus.ts anymore, right? I got hair like all over my keyboard. So we won't have that. And then that EME, that example. Yeah, the region. That's fine. I'm actually gonna call this. This is just a name I thought of. It's kind of like a Spanish name with a wordplay. And the trigger word is just gonna be the. I don't even know if we're gonna need those two things, but yeah, we might need. We'll probably get rid of this one soon here. Puppeteer setting Docker not enter locally. Puppeteer executor path. Okay. ESLint. It shouldn't have been changing the ESLint stuff really. So I'm gonna undo this. This should have been fine the way it is. Yeah, we won't have CodeGen. We won't have Docker Compose. I mean, you know what? This was actually for testing the DynamoDB database in unit tests. So I think I'm actually gonna keep this. For when we do add unit tests that kind of touch the. I kind of wonder, there's not gonna be an API. I'll leave it here because we'll have Dynamo. All right, I'll check this last. It's a leading jest. Dude, you know what? I kind of want to keep Jest around. I don't want to migrate over to like Vitest for this project. I'll just restore it. This is the package.log. So let's see here. Yeah, I don't know why it did this. Deploy bin just.config.js. Yeah, I want to keep this the same. This is fine to keep. This will undo. tsconfig.json. It changed. So this is fine. All right, so they removed this guy here. Did it also upgrade TypeScript versions? It didn't. What else did it remove here? So add that one. The hell? I'll add this one again. What else? Build is fine. Generate is gone. So it changed build from. I actually had I had a build script that I thought was better. Did it also remove the build script? I think it did. Build.ts. I'd rather have, when it's this long, I prefer to just have it in. Well, this one, it's not that bad. I'll just leave it like that. It's fine. Pre-test, post-test, test. I kind of want to. Yeah, I'm gonna keep all this. Revert this change here. And the thing that I'm gonna remove is the maintenance job because we won't have that. Test, SCI, post-test, pre-test, lint. It's fine. It remove SES, SQS. We won't need that for now. Who knows? Maybe we'll see if we need a background queue or something for anything that we do. If anything, we'll just install it again. What else? Credential provider node. I don't even remember what I was using that one for. Yeah, it deleted AWS Lambda from Fastify. Course, we won't need that. Yeah, we won't need any GraphQL here. Type dorm, we got rid of in favor of ElectroDB. Async retry, we'll see if we bring it back. It's fine. Axios, might not need for now. Data loader, there's no GraphQL. Yeah, client S3 we will need, and we want to keep it to, yeah, the same version as the DynamoDB client. That's fine. Day.js, we might need, yeah, we might need it for some stuff here. .env we will need. Fastify is gone. GraphQL, that's all gone. JSON Web Token, I think we will need. Lodash, Random, and Shuffle, probably won't need that. Mercurius, that was just a framework for GraphQL and Fastify. Nano, ID, we'll see if we need it. We'll see if we need it. Won't need Node Mailer. PMAP and Pino, that's a logger. Pino Lambda, that's fine. Let's keep all this. Let's keep all this. Secure JSON parse. I'm gonna keep this just in case. We might need to do some JSON parsing, and I'd rather use this library here. Same for safe stable stringify. Yeah, reflect metadata we won't need. Ramda, I like having Ramda here for just functional utilities. I kind of wonder what version Ramda is on right now. Let me get some music going here too, because I'm gonna go crazy here. All right. So 0.32.0. Let's go for that. .32, and I think it already brings its own types, so we're good there. ULIT, I'm gonna keep that in case we use unique IDs for the records. I think I'm gonna prefer that. Cause those are actually sortable. I actually gotta I'm gonna tell Cursor that we'll probably want to use those for the ULITs, because I think it might actually change the data model that it came up with. I think if I kind of check the plan, I kind of want to have that up here. Why did it where's the latest plan? So the plan is here. This is the latest one. Where is the data model here? I gotta actually check this out. I haven't seen this. Jesus Christ, okay. Alright, so I haven't reviewed any of this, so we'll review this now in a bit here. I swear I had done like a nice breakdown of the data model that it had. Did it get rid of that? At some point we had it. Yeah, here it is. So it was doing, so this is for the group entity, this is a member entity, and this is a message entity. So it was doing what? PK and composite. So the field was PK, it was composite of just a group ID. And the sort key, it was using timestamp and message ID. Which makes sense, but I think... So the group ID is just gonna be WhatsApp group ID. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna need any like... Yeah, I think we're not gonna need ULIT actually. Because we're not gonna be generating any... any unique IDs ourselves, I think. I think we're just gonna use WhatsApp unique IDs. Damn it. Shit fell again, bro. My fucking table, man. I don't know why this is not sticking. Yeah, so I think I might need to rework my Kalo setup here. So I put one of those things that you like put under the desk, and it's like just, you know, kind of like a sticker. But I've used the same one for a while and it works. Like one stuck, but the other one just fell off. Let me throw this away. Oh, you know what? I'll go in a second here. So yeah, like I was saying, I think we don't need to really generate our own unique IDs for anything here. Maybe for what? For maybe the, you know, I'll keep it. Let's see. So what else did it do here? So yeah, build. I thought it had deleted like something from Pinot, like that dependencies. This is all fine. API gateway, for me AWS types, async retry, AWS lambda, jest. I think I want this one for sure. Copy deleted line. I don't know why it deleted jest. JSON went to, yeah, types node. Might need to update node here. Types randa. Let's look at what type randas are. Sorry. Types randa npm. I think they usually keep it to the same version now. 0.31.1. 0.31.1. So taking screenshots. Stay still. Strangify, secure JSON parse. Typefast will keep. ULIT will keep. What's up, WebJS? WebJS AWS S3. I think all of those are legit, right? I'm guessing. Let's see, because I didn't think this thing had any types. I think it just hallucinated those. Yeah, that already has its own types. Like, this is not a thing. I don't even think this is a thing. It's just funny how it just didn't even check that type of thing anymore. Or like, I don't know if it ever did it. Yeah, that's not a thing either, I don't think. Let's take that out. I don't know why it removed this one. We definitely need this guy here. Just, yeah, dude, bring back Jess, please. Bring back his chest. Yards, I don't think we'll need yards here. So I'll keep that, that is good. Alright, so I think we're good there. Let me just, you deleted a bunch of devs that we didn't need, so I went ahead and just reverted those changes for you, just so it kind of remembers, hopefully. Let's keep this guy here, keep this guy here, keep this guy here, keep this guy here, keep this guy here. Actually, keep all, right? Next file. So this, it shouldn't have changed any of this. This is fine because we're not using reflect metadata anymore, so we can get rid of the decorator stuff. I'm kind of wondering why I had this error here. I mean, I guess this is gone, but I think it's because it's not using the workspace. Select TypeScript version. I think it's using like the, yeah, it's using the VS Code version. I want to use my workspace version. Yeah, that's why he wasn't picking it up. Out there, dist. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so that fixed all of that. Yep. Alright, so that's all good. This is good here. Maintenance jobs, we don't want that. Pull request. Alright, let's see what it did here. So it did lint. I want to test Dynamo. So let's skip this. Upgraded the checkout, upgraded the setup node. We'll upgrade node versions later. Install dependencies, run lint. Yeah, let's do that. Kind of hate it doesn't like just keep this. This is really lint and test, but we'll probably like separate those later. So if one fails, we don't have to relint again. I just haven't optimized those things. Let's do CI here, and we just added the build step, npm run build. Why is it running the build here? Give me 1 sec. Give me. Wait, why is it saying online? Wait, it's saying offline. But I'm definitely streaming, right? I just have the studio thing here from YouTube and it's telling me that I was offline. It makes no sense. Thing here from YouTube and it's telling me that I was offline. It makes no sense. I don't know why I added the build step here. I don't think we need to build in the... Yeah, I just want to do that. It's fine. Verify what space true target is 20. You know what? I kind of want to keep this thing. I'm gonna tell it to move the... Also, can you, instead of having like a single super big line for the build script, can you just move that back into the build.ts file that I had before, keeping the rules I had for minifying white space and the targets, so ES 2020 and Node 18. And then yeah, just, you know, bundle through, and then, you know, you can add everything else you added there. But yeah, let's just keep it in the build script. I feel like that's cleaner. So yeah, I deleted the Pulumi dev file, that's fine. Server defaults. This is kind of like the way I had the config. I kind of like this config here. We won't need it for now, so it's fine. This is kind of like all pretty whack, so I'll try something new here. Yeah, this is just the old way I had like to do configs for server. And it was kind of not great anymore because it was using like, it wasn't type safe, kind of dynamic, and I think it can just be fully type safe and just, you know. Yeah, we don't need any of this. We don't need any of that. This is just the old stuff here. It's all related to the template I had for GraphQL resolvers, API, handlers, loaders. Yeah, none of this we really need. I don't know why I kept this. We can just completely delete this file. Same with the job runner, test job. Yeah, we don't need that. Permissions, rules, index, resolvers. This is all related to the API. Pagination, user schema, example entities, user tables, setup. So this we actually do need if we want to run unit tests that talk to Dynamo. I'm gonna restore that. Test client, probably don't need it anymore. This is actually testing the like the actual API in unit test. So I'm gonna, oh fuck, I'll delete that in a second here. There's the Dynamo. Yeah, this is fine. This wasn't using anything from, it was kind of using, but you know what? I'm actually going to simplify, and I'll come back to unit tests and Dynamo and all that whenever I need to, so I'll actually delete all of that. I'll try something new, so I'll probably just get rid of Jest too, and if we come back to unit tests, I'll just go for Vitest. And I'll just set up things again with Dynamo, DB local and all that. Yeah, this can all go Dynamo, Dynamo, Dynamo. Alright, so this is a cleanup. Let me just go back and delete what's still left. And then for Dynamo here. So yeah, let me actually, why didn't it delete the Docker Compose? I actually think I added it back, right? So let me just delete that. Dynamo. Yeah, I'll get rid of all that. And you're right, I'm just gonna do linting for now. We'll add unit tests after maybe the first pass. How's that? Just to show that Cursor can do pretty well with unit tests too, once it has something that it can look at and that it understands. So dependencies, lint, and then the setup. That's fine. Let me get rid of all this. Services, we don't need that shit anymore. I actually don't know why I didn't catch that either. And it didn't update this file. Then See, like it deleted the whole other thing, but so deploy that lint and test. Call this lint. So in its lint, Node.js, configuring credentials here, that's fine. We are going to need just the prot ones here. I'll change that in a bit here. And this is going to be US East 2. Again, we're only going to deploy to one environment. Fuck it, I'm going to straight up testing prot, straight up prot. No need for 2 M's here for now. npm CI, install dependencies, build. Yeah. Pulumi, deploy to def. This is going to be deploy to prot. I don't know why I didn't change any of this. Oh, actually, you know what? I can just keep this one. Christ, okay. What is it complaining about? Yeah, no approvers, no need for that shit. Let's get rid of that step. So yeah, I had like a manual approval before. So CI lint build, Pulumi again, deploy to prot. Yeah, command op deploy Pulumi access token. Which one is it using? Secrets Pulumi access token. That's fine. I think this probably looks okay, but we'll see. Dynamo, let's get rid of that. Might need that. This is all fine. Dynamo SES, so we don't need SES anymore. We don't need custom domain anymore. We don't need API handler. We don't need API gateway. I don't know why I didn't catch any of that. Again, I'm gonna fucking delete all this too. I'm not gonna do any of that for now. Test client. No, we don't need that. Delete. Yeah, see, as you can see, it missed a bunch of stuff, right? Like it said it was going to clean up a ton of things and it missed a lot of them, right? I just know what to delete because I know the template. But yeah. And we're at AGI already, right? Supposedly. We burn like $10,000 a day in tokens, maybe. Alright, so that's that.
Credit card bills? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Is your landlord ready to evict you? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. Does your girlfriend think you're a fucking worthless loser? Good. Pick up the phone and start dialing. I want you to deal with your problems by becoming rich.
I just like the sound of it.
I don't know custom domain either. Deploy utils IAM Pulumi prot, Pulumi tax we will need. What's here? Actually, no, how do you, yeah. That's fine. Pulumi prot. Index, that's fine. IAM. We deleted the Dynamo file, that's not good. The tails are gonna be there. So let me bring that one back. Where did it put it here? Dynamo.ts, it's probably that one. Dynamo.ts, Dynamo.ts. Here it is, deploy. We want to bring this one back. It won't be a user table. Let's bring it back. And let's just, you know, just let's leave this here. And it'll know it needs to update that, right? So it'll have that as an example. What else? Bam, bam, bam.
I just like the sound of it.
Okay. What's it complaining about here? Let's do a lint ourselves. npm run lint. The fuck? Passed? I got no output on that. Alright, so let's look at the new stuff that it added that we did not have before. So I think it was mostly related to Docker. So we saw this one already, I think that's fine. Hit ignore was fine too, it removed dild post.ts. Build, I think that's fine. Although we might have something in build, right? No resolvers. We'll see. I think we'll not have something there. We won't.
I just like the sound of it.
That's fine. Docker file. So let's see this. It's installing Chromium dependencies for Puppeteer. I'm just gonna go ahead and trust it with this. It's like, yeah, Chromium fonts, Libosound, yeah, I think those usually track. Set Puppeteer to use installed Chromium. Okay. Work their app. It's copying package JSON into the working there for Docker. I was gonna install the packages with production. That makes it, I think, just always respect the log JSON file. It's kind of like with Yarn, the what's the command for that for Yarn, like freeze frozen log file. I think that's the equivalent here in npm. I usually use Yarn at work and mostly probably should switch to pnpm, but I'll keep it simple. Copy the dist and then run the bot. Node dist.js. That makes sense. Alright, so that Docker file makes sense to me. I'm just not seeing anything where it actually builds the Docker file during the deploy. What did I miss here? Where is it running the Docker file?
You got to go. You got to go. You got to
Alright, let me actually tell it that I deleted more stuff. You know what, I'm gonna actually commit this first step just so it doesn't like revert anything of the changes that I made manually here. So I'm gonna do commit phase 1 part 1 cleanup, push that, and then let me ask. So I also made some other deletions that you missed from the cleanup that we had discussed, and then I also noticed that I kind of blanked out there. What was the thing that I was going to ask it about? Oh, that's right, that I didn't see anything related to the deploy in GitHub Actions where it actually builds the image. That there's no... I didn't see anything related to built in the GitHub Action deploy flow. I actually also fixed that for you. I only left deploying to prod. For the pull request workflow, we'll just, you know, lint for now. But yeah, I didn't see anything related to the Docker file build in the actual GitHub Action for deploying to prod. Did you miss that, or am I missing anything? Right, so let's give it that and see what it comes up with. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get some water. Mm, mm. And before you judge, I know I got the gayest water bottle ever. I was just at Whole Foods like when we were moving in, and I didn't have a water bottle, and I said like fuck it, and I just grabbed it, and it was the only color that they had. Probably like they had more colors, but I was like, you know, when they have like showcasing like the specific item like right at the counter, so I just fucking grabbed it, and then I was like, yeah, it's kind of gay, but fuck it. Um, right, what did it say? Let me check the current state of the files to understand what you've changed and what's missing. I see the current state. You're right. The dockable steps were missing from the deploy. That was supposed to be part of part 1.6. Oh, okay. Okay. So what was the thing that it said that it was going to do? It did P1.1. Cleanup and Docker file complete. Okay. So I guess it's fine. I guess it probably didn't pay attention to what it said before, like in terms of the steps that it was going to follow. It just like spits out so much shit too, like with the steps and all that. Like I kind of don't like that it shows this, right? Like in line. I'm not even sure why it's doing that. I feel like Cursor didn't used to do that before. I mean the commands were always here, the thing that it was running, but the actual changes are kind of weird here, right? So let me close this out here. I see what you're gonna say, you're right. The current workflow just does npm run build, but doesn't build a Docker image. Push to light sales registry. Okay. Press even. Let me first create the bin build TS that you requested, then we can add the Docker steps in the workflow. I guess my bad for misguiding you. This blood, Puppeteer core. Yeah, way better. So let's keep this. Right, and now it's just doing, yeah, TS node bin build.ts. Yep. Simplify, build script, push. Okay, sorry, I missed that you actually had planned for those steps. So no, let's just keep following the steps that you laid out at the beginning. Let's now proceed to the next one based on your plan. I didn't even copy here. I kind of wish it like, so I think it's doing this step by step. Yeah, I think it's doing it step by step because I actually told it to kind of do it by phases, which is definitely fine. But normally when you just do it like when you're in plan mode and you just don't really have any phases and you just, you know, kind of like execute your plan and then just implement it, it just goes at once and like does everything, right? I kind of still prefer like when I'm doing something like this, when I'm just getting started, I prefer to guide it through and like read the plan just to make sure that it's not going fucking crazy. Doing wild stuff that just takes me more time to like fix later, especially with this like little new product. So yeah, that's why it's like not really vibe coding, right? While it does that, I should probably read the other plan, the rest of the plan, right? Because now I went and did a ton of Lightsail stuff, so maybe let's look at that, right? So phase 1 goals, clean up template code, we did that. Create Docker file with Chromium for Puppeteer, we did that. Add to Pulumi, S3 bucket, IAM user, Lightsail container service. I think that's what it's doing now, right? So it's doing 1.3. Okay, so that's good. It's going into details of what it's going to do on each step. So we kind of already went through that one, right? So in P1.2, it's going to do the S3 session bucket. I guess it doesn't have too much, right? Also 1.4 here. Switch bot to local auth, from local auth to S3. Lightsail container service. I think I'm just going to read the code that it generated. How it works. First, Pulumi creates a container service, S3 bucket IAM user, no deployment yet. You manually create IAM access keys and add to GitHub secrets. GitHub actions, builds image, pushes to Lightsail, runs Pulumi up with M bars, and then creates the deployment. That kind of makes sense. Docker file, Node 18 Slim. I guess Slim's fine. I usually use the Alpine version. Probably Slim works too. I'm not sure what the difference is between those, really. So Slim sounds good to me. Okay, so it's getting into the actual GitHub action here. It's going to install the dependencies, run the build. Okay, here it's where it's doing the Docker build, right? It's going to build into WhatsApp bot, push the image to Lightsail. We are going to need to have the AWS credentials set up here for sure. Extract the image URI from the output format WhatsApp bot. It's doing grep op WhatsApp bot with the regex. I guess I'll just fucking trust it with that. And then it's gonna echo the image into the GitHub output. Okay. Installing Pulumi and deploy the prod. So yeah, so it builds the image first, pushes it up, and then what does it do? It does command op stack name prod, the work dir, access token, pass the image and bot credentials to Pulumi. Lightsail image, okay. And then the bot key IDs. Okay. So we're gonna need the yep. Auth in bot code. So yeah, we first deploy flow. Alright, so we're basically going to go through 1.7 before we actually try to deploy for the first time, which I think based on what I'm reading here makes sense. So I kind of want to save this file here. I don't know where cursor saves this at. It's definitely not on there. Why did it change this? Yeah, API endpoint we don't need. So we do need the project, SES domain, and then deployed by AWS region. Yeah, that makes sense. That's all we need here. constants, it got rid of. For configuring, so yeah, we don't need that. There's no lambda involved here. Create handlers asset archive. I don't think we're gonna. This is just for this was for the Pulumi, like the lambda thing, like for actually like doing the archive for the lambda. Anyway, that was from something we're not gonna use. It's actually deleting this guy, but we're definitely gonna need a dynamo table. So I'm gonna let it actually delete it because I'm thinking that it's deleting it because it knows that it'll create another one later when the step comes. Let's see what it's doing in here. I'm gonna maybe keep all and then just see what it's doing. Let me just open the non-diff file, right? So it's creating a new IAM user using the service name. Okay, it's passing the tags. Bot user policy. Let me just ignore this because it's, what is it saying? It's clear, but its value it's never used. Yeah, because we're not exporting or anything. Let's just disable that. That's fine. So it's creating a user policy, tying it to that user that it created, and it's giving it access for, yeah, doing get object, put object, delete object, and the head object for, yeah, bucket ARN, which is grabbing from where? Yeah, it's doing the apply from the session bucket, which makes sense. It's importing it from here. And then it's just exporting the bot username, which I think we might need first for actually maybe grabbing the credentials or the keys. We'll just get those from the console either way. In the index, it's not formatting that. I think that's fine. It doesn't really need to export. Anyway, let's leave it there because that's what it just did. Okay, so this is the light cell stuff. I want to look at this in detail. Let me see what did it change here. Server as fast as yeah. I'm not sure why I decided to like not choose a template. I definitely want that template. I kind of want to see what happens if you don't really, if you don't really give it any template here. Because I've always used a serverless AWS TypeScript, but I wonder if it decided to delete it because that's like more, or like lambdas and stuff. Let's just leave it there and see. That's fine. But yeah, this is just a session, force destroy. That's fine. I mean, it's sessions. So if we ever delete the bucket, we want to definitely force destroy. That's fine. If not, it's a pain to like actually destroy the S3 bucket if I decide to tear this all down. So this is my first time working with Lightsail, so I kind of want to see what it's doing here. So I feel like this needs to be secrets, right? I'm gonna configure those as secret in Pulumi. You can actually do that pretty easily, right? So for the bot AWS access key ID and bot AWS secret access key ID in Pulumi, I'm actually going to basically just save those as secrets to Pulumi manually via the CLI. I know how to do that. We actually were doing that before, if you see the diff in the config file. So just assume that I'm going to put them as secrets and then grab them here in this Lightsail file as secrets via the config that we expose in the config.ts file. So yeah, I did miss that. We definitely don't want to do that like it's doing it now from the process.m. I don't think that makes sense. The Lightsail image, actually it's doing that because it's gonna grab it from GitHub Actions. So I think it might make sense because that way I don't have to put it in two places, like Pulumi and GitHub Actions. The thing with that is that it's grabbing it, but I think it's fine. This is gonna run in GitHub Actions, so I think it's fine. Let's actually try it out that way. I think it actually might be simpler. Is disabled scale. The scale specification for the container service. This scale specifies the allocated compute nodes on the container service. Yeah, I definitely just want one. Power, it's definitely micro. Because that's a free tier too. I think I get like 3 months for free. Yeah, that makes sense. Only create a deployment if we have an image. So you don't really have to specify the type here. It's just gonna grab it from, infer it from this first assignment. And I don't even think we need to assign it to anything. Yeah, I'll just ignore this because I think it's gonna complain either way if there's no assignment of a new class. Or, you know, like a constructor initialization here. And then it's exporting container service at name and container service at URL. That's all fine. So if light cell image but alias access key. Oh, okay, that's good. So it's basically, it knows that these are only going to be present in GitHub Actions, so it'll only try to actually do the deployment once we're in GitHub Actions. That's because the first pass is just going to create the S3 bucket that we need, which I'm going to do locally. So I think it got all of that right, and that kind of makes sense. Yeah, this is fine. This is also fine. I think we already saw this, importing everything here. So yeah, the way Pulumi works, you kind of like gotta import everything into the index file. So basically when it runs, it'll only create the infra for the things that you kind of like import or bring in, right? So that's why we have this index file here with everything. It's actually kind of neat because you can like take out stuff like that too. But so the S3 session, I think that's pretty simple. So I'm gonna keep that too. Review next file. Keep all, review next file, keep all. Review next file, keep all. I think we're good. And I made that smaller. Why? I don't know. All right. So what? This was what? Phase 1.2. Yeah. This seems to be for, yeah, phase 1.2. Or like 1. Actually, it even went ahead and did that. So wait, no, it didn't. It didn't. This is the actual user policy. And you go to the user file here. Oh, actually, it does have the user policy. It just doesn't have the attachment. Wait, what? Did it just did it not follow its plan here? Update existing, okay. It did do this. Yeah, it has a user policy here. The only difference is what? You did the user policy. Oh, I think in the plan it wasn't assigning it to everything. Yeah, it wasn't assigning it, and it would have gotten a lint error there too, or like a TypeScript error. TS, I think it would be TS, like the actual TSC compiler, I think. Or maybe it would be a lint. I'm not sure how I have those rules set up, but anyway, I think that's fine. So it did follow that. So I think, yeah, this was like 1.2, right? It did 1.2, and it'll probably, actually no, so it even went to like 1.4. Yeah, 1.4. You did the container service too, I think. It did 1.5 already too. Okay, so it's actually doing all the like the first phase. No, this it didn't do. So it's like up to 1.6, right? Actually, no, it hasn't done this either. So let's call this 1. Yeah. But I'm just gonna call this setup light cell, or whatever, or 1.3 to 1.2.1.4. Yeah, it kind of like did all the things because it also jumped to 1.5 here, but it already had done that before. Let me see if it actually deviated from the plan that it had here from light cell, because I feel like I didn't see this. Light cell. Oh no, it did add this. So what is it doing here? So if it is like it's create a container service deploying the version resource with a given unique name, arguments, and options. So yeah, it creates a new resource, like a new deployment, like a new container image, right? Or like a new container service based on the new image that we just built, right? Which we're gonna pass through here. Image is a URL, right? The name of the image used for the container. Container images sourced from your light cell container service that are registered and stored. Start with a colon, for example. Okay. So yeah, remember we're gonna push that via the CLI in GitHub Actions. Container images, what? Container images sourced from a public registry like Docker Hub don't start with a colon. Okay, that's fine. Environment, that's fine. Session bucket name. WhatsApp bot name. This shouldn't be here. This should be coming from some. This is not great. We should be reusing those. So one thing I noticed is that we are hard coding the WhatsApp bot name and the WhatsApp trigger words in the lightcell.ts file. I think ideally we'd just like to have those in a single place so that they're just imported and used both within the Pulumi code and then the app code. I think what I used to do before is I used to use the constants file for that, and you can always still bring in constants from that deploy folder into the actual app code. It's fine, it's just TypeScript, so it's not a problem. All right, so that's the first thing that I notice here. Ah, Jesus. Yeah, so like this thing just pastes it automatically on the text field that you're like focused on. So that's the first thing. Let me save this here. So let's have it fix that. I think the rest is fine here. Yeah, makes sense. So let's tell it that. So it said that it actually did 1.3. So it got that as 1.3, but I feel like it did more than that. Let's just trust it on that. I'm gonna call it 1.3 then. I think my performance is kind of shitty sometimes, right? Like the FPS are dropping a lot here. I'm watching on the right. It's using no CPU, like it basically uses no CPU. It's not using that much memory, but the average time to render frame is like yellow now. It's saying 16 ms. It's dropping to 58 ms. I mean, honestly, like OBS did the automatic test based on my network for how it should configure everything, so I kind of just went by that. But yeah. Again, streaming into the void here. Not a single viewer. And the studio thing says offline. Let's maybe do this. Docs, YouTube live control panel. Let's see if it updates. It says I got one view. It's saying that the quality is excellent. Fine. Let's bring back the music. What happened here? Okay, so now done. Now bot config is defining deployment constants and imported by both. For the container bounds, for the app defaults, but also we're ready to proceed with 1.4. but it didn't pick up that I kind of like renamed that, right?
got the gold. You got the gold.
Wait, so I think that means that we can also remove the environment variables that we had on the .env.example file, right? Same for the .env file, correct? Wait, so that means that we can just also get rid of the .env variables that we had in the .env.example file for the bot name, right? And the trigger words. We'll just update the constants file this time. Okay, great, thank you. Wait, but one thing it didn't do is that it didn't, let me see. Where it was grabbing the actual like secrets here. Yeah, I didn't pick this up. Actually, no, I said that was fine, right? Right. We weren't gonna do that, so I'm gonna keep all here. That makes sense. Let's go for 1.4 now. Let's go back to the plan. Let's see what it's supposed to do in 1.4. So this is it already did this, right? So I'm not sure. Oh, actually no, yeah, it actually already did this. So I'm not sure what it's going to do now here. ¿Ya? Te acompaño. Bueno, vamos pues. Vámonos. Alright, so I'm gonna walk my dog, and I'll be back after that. I'm gonna leave it running here for 1.4 and we'll see what it does when I come back. Hopefully it doesn't ask for any permissions for the commands that it's gonna run. I don't think it will. I think it's been doing mostly fine so far. This is running like install scripts and like running linting and build and all that, just to I guess test itself. But should be fine. Yeah. So I'll be back. Alright. Peace.